So I'm going to go over this video. I'm kind of like doing kind of a vlog thing right now. So it's going to be a little more serious from my other stuff. I mean, it's not going to be like serious, but it's like a little serious because the point that why I started this channel in the first place is because cat wants out. Fine. Go outside. Go outside, kitty cat. Be free. So the reason why I started the whole vlog or the whole channel to begin with, it's not really to like it's not really to sell anything. It's not trying to promote everything. I'm not trying to like market myself as like a fitness guru, because I'm myself. I'm trying to learn this because, you know, I spent a number of years in the military and learned that they don't understand what fitness is. And then I tried to get out and I started learning that I didn't understand what fitness was. Well, the things I thought I knew, I didn't know. And, you know, I spent a good portion of my life just, you know, not being a real heavy guy. And I went from being like, you know, 150, 160 pounds to being eventually like shooting all the way up to like 225 pounds. Granted, that's not the worst case scenario, but it wasn't a good place to be in either. And the irony was, I didn't really care. I didn't care that I was 225 pounds. What I cared about is what being 225 pounds was doing to me. How I was tired all the time, and how I was, I couldn't even walk up my own steps. You know what I mean? It was pretty rough, actually. And there were other health issues, which I'm not willing to disclose right now. But it was kind of becoming a wake-up call for me where I needed to change. I know I needed to change. And I'm going to close this because all this noise probably isn't helping. So, that being said, you know, I wanted to, the problem with the whole fitness world is the fact that you see the past. A lot of these times you got a lot of these guys and these women who, you know, you see a lot of their past photos and you see a lot of their past, you know, health, right? And then you see the final result. You see where they're at now. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, this is where I was, this is where I am. But there's no transition. There's no transition in the middle to where you really see the struggle or the problem or the issue. I swear, my cat's so funny. You know what? There. I'll just leave it a little cracked. I guess you're just going to have to deal with the noise because my cats, I think I adore my cats too much. Anyway, that being said, and they are doing like construction work and stuff out there. They're building a new stuff outside our apartment, not to you know, not to like digress, but yeah, we won't have this apartment much longer. So the point is, there's no middle ground. There's no progression. There's no human factor. You know, it's always just this summary. You know, and I wanted to track some of the issues that I was going through, and maybe I will over time. I fortunately, like now, I was at 225, and now after like, you know, 3 or 4 years, I've managed to like trying to figure out things because I've tried Noom, and now I have a workout app called Fitbod, and the Fitbod app is more like, I only use the Fitbod app because it was more geared towards, it was an app that I liked the way it set up my workouts, not so much that I needed it to lose weight. It just set up my workouts, and I could set my goals, and it would just set up routines for me, and I could change them however I want. But anyway, you know, I spent so many years in the military, and And I realized after being in the military had no idea what real fitness was. And therefore, because the military didn't know what fitness was, I didn't know what fitness was. So now it's this concept, like, what do I do? I had to start looking. I had to start figuring things out. But the problem was I didn't know anything. And anyway, with my channels, I want it to be a progression, but unfortunately, it's kind of like fallen to the wayside a lot. And and I didn't want to be like other influencers. And I'm not saying I'm an influencer. I'm just saying I didn't want to be other influencers in the sense that, where all I'm doing is just videotaping myself work out, or just talking about the bullet points. There are thousands of videos out there that do that. You can literally pick any video, grab a handful, and most of them will generally say the same thing, especially if you're looking for something specific. But I just wanted to add more of a human factor to the whole workout problem. So, that being said, I wanted to talk about my workout today. And I'm not sure how often I'll be vlogging. I'm not sure what I'm going to be adding to this. It's just the concept of me trying to understand working out and understand what I'm doing and understand, what's working and why it's working. And so this week has been a challenge because I gained weight again. I didn't really gain weight. It's weird. Your weight, I don't understand what real weight is. I actually had to download this app called Macro Factor, and it gave me a general baseline. I think I'm somewhere like, my baseline is like 94.6 or 184.6 right now or something pounds. But the thing is, my weight, if you look at this scale, it's like it jumps up, it jumps down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And it's like it goes in this big sine wave of ups and downs. And it moves a little bit down, and then it goes a little bit up, goes a lot of it down, and then it goes a lot of it up. And it's just like there's no rhyme or reason to all the noise, So, but I guess if we were to look at it like in a more baseline manner, my weight has gone up a little bit. And it was very frustrating because I was like kind of losing control of my eating again. And it's kind of hard because you're tired and you want to eat something, and you just don't want to make decisions, and you just don't want to do stuff. And it's very hard because you have to kind of like, after you make that mistake of just giving in, I had to reassess myself. I had to reassess myself and start over. It wasn't completely over. I didn't start over at the end of the week. I start over the next day. You know what I mean? The next day is when I start over. Not tomorrow. Just like, okay, I realize I messed up today. When I wake up tomorrow, I'm going to renew and focus. And that's what I would do. And sometimes it would work and sometimes it doesn't. And no matter how many times I failed, I would always try to start over, which can be very discouraging. I just want to talk about my workout today. And today was kind of a leg day. I know a lot of guys do not like leg day. I do not care. I don't mind leg day at all. It does not bother me. Believe it or not, I actually had stronger lower body strength, more lower body strength than I did upper body strength, at least for a guy. For a guy, I had stronger lower body strength than upper body strength. So I was a little more prone to utilizing that. So it didn't bother me. That and my core. At least for most of my life. Now, I don't know. I'm somewhere, I think I'm balancing out. But I just want to add this human factor in this vlog. Anyway, so going to the gym, I go to this One Life Fitness gym. I'm not super fond of it. The only reason why I go is because it has a huge variety of equipment, but the people, the staff is all very rude, and but and hours are terrible. But at least the one over where I live anyway. But I don't go there for them. I go there to use their equipment, and for the most part, they leave me alone. And I try to leave them alone. and just do my thing. But today, I think I started out with front squats. I don't typically do front squats, and it messed with me a little bit because I did a 45 pounds, so that means it was just the bar. The bar was 45 pounds. And then I accidentally messed up because it's supposed to go up to 85 pounds. And unfortunately, I never can quite, I probably should have put 4 10-pound plates on it to make it 85 pounds, but I didn't really think about it at the time. So I thought, well, the closest thing I got is to just make it 95. And I thought I did 95. And I'm like, oh, why is this so hard? It was like 3 squats. And I'm just like, why is this so hard? This is terrible. Because sometimes Fitbot has overestimated my ability to do something. And I end up like lifting way more weight than I'm supposed to. It really beats me up sometimes. Well, in this case, what it turns out is I actually put on too much weight. I didn't even think about it. For some reason, my mind the math was not there. And I put on 2 45-pound plates, which actually made it 135 pounds instead of 95 pounds, which I was trying to go for 95 because I didn't think about how I could do 85. And then I thought back, after that first set, I realized I put 135 pounds on there. I'm like, okay, let me put the right weight on here. And I did. And I put the right weight, or at least I put it down to 95 versus 85. Again, I didn't think about the plates. And then after that, I had to do, it wanted me to do straight leg deadlifts, which not bad. Now, the straight leg deadlifts, man, deadlifts and just in general, I keep forgetting to like pinch my back. I don't want to say pinch my back, but basically you're like squeezing your shoulder blades together towards each other. I keep forgetting I need to do that. And believe it or not, first set I did it, I didn't do it right. And the second time I did it, it just felt better. It felt better. I felt like it was easier to keep my back straight. Because it's recommended that you, like, when you do any type of deadlift, you should do that. And I forgot. I'm always forgetting. Actually, I heard on YouTube once from Jeff Nippard. And then again, I want to say it was Jeff Nippard. No, wait. It might have been Jeremy Ether. It's one of those two guys. I can't remember now. But then one of the people I talked to, her name is KC. I talk to her at the gym every once in a while whenever I see her. And she brought that up, and it reminded me, oh, yeah, wait, I need to do that when I do deadlifts because it helps my form. And so I did that. After that, they wanted me to do American kettlebell swings. At least that's how the app describes it, is American kettlebell swings. And American kettlebell swings, I guess, are the ones that you actually raise it over your head. And I'm like, okay. And it's funny because it messed me up because I did 13. It's like it started me out. It's trying to warm me up. So I did 13 pounds for the first set, 2 sets. And then I had 2 other working sets because it was be a max effort day. And I accidentally did my first one with 13 pounds. And I guess it was supposed to go up to 18 pounds. Unfortunately, they don't have 18 pounds. Actually, they didn't even have 13 pounds. I had to use a 12-pound kettlebell to warm up with. And then so I used a 20 pounds. So, yeah. So after that, I had to... So I did that. And then it's kind of interesting because I'm not really sure how I'm supposed to do kettlebell swings, if I'm doing them right at all. I don't know if I'm supposed to pinch my shoulders anywhere. I got to read through the instructions on those because I want to make sure I don't hurt myself or drop the weight on my head. Another thing is the next thing after that was it was like a power clean, but it was like a halfway power clean where I would drop down to my knees and put it under. Now the cleans with dumbbells, I'm finally learning how to do those. And not get tired because before I felt like I was just squatting, raising. And then I realized later that I'm supposed to actually tuck myself. I have to tuck myself under it, So I'm actually almost like trying to race under the weight as I pull it up with momentum. And it's very different, because before I felt like I was just doing, double squats, where now it's like, no, I'm trying to race myself under the weight and then do the squat. Well, actually I don't even really do the squat. I do a lift. So I guess that's where it really changed how I did it. Now, how I performed the exercise and how well I performed the exercise. Strangely enough, believe it or not, like you just actually just doing 2 squats and then pulling it is different than like you trying to pull it up and tuck yourself underneath. Because it is when I've seen, I think cleans are supposed to be a little more of a momentum-based exercise. At least, like I said, that's from what I've seen. Yeah. I don't know who's going to be watching this for 17 minutes, but it might be actually less than that because I'll be doing some editing. But anyway, after that, I had to do, so it was a momentum-based exercise. So it was very weird for me to actually, pull it up over my shoulders and it definitely changed the dynamics of how well I could do the exercise. Because I'd never done cleans before. Cleans scare me, especially cleans with an overhead press, because like I'm always worried that I'm gonna push it over my head and try to squat, and I'm gonna lose grip of it, and it's gonna fall right on top of me. It scares the daylights out of me. I haven't done any overhead presses though. It's just normal, just dumbbell cleans. Just bring it up to my shoulders, tuck myself under, stand up. Anyway, now it was wanting me to do it with 10 pounds, but I ended up doing it with 15 because the 10s were not available. And this is another problem with being in a public gym. Sometimes you have to adapt. And I didn't know if I wanted to go lower or higher. They only had 5-pound increments, but I'm like, in this case, let me try higher. Because usually I'll try to go lower if it's not too low, but because I want to be safer. But in this case, I didn't feel like it was necessarily wrong. But I didn't do terrible. I did 15 reps on the first set and 12 reps on the second. And after that, this is where it gets kind of fuzzy, because it wanted me to start doing my abs. I'm like, I don't want to do my abs. I can do my abs on my arm days. And I can, not that I don't like doing my abs, I just didn't want to do it that day. I wanted to really get my leg workout in. So I changed things up. I added calf raises, because I feel like my calves just do not get enough work. Anytime I'm doing calves, I swear, like, I'll take this back. The only exception is the seated calf raise with that machine that has the bar in front of it. And I think it's just because of mechanical advantage why it's so much harder on that thing. But any other time, my calves laugh in the face of weight. Like it'll recommend 85-pound dumbbells, and my arms are like, no, and my hands are like, why? And my calves are like, that tickles. It doesn't care. It literally laughs in the face of heavy weight. Okay, I could probably throw 200 pounds on my shoulders and feel like I'm being crushed by it. My calves will be okay. But this time I did the standing calf machine, and it was a hoist machine with the rocket. Well, it was by a rocket style hoist machine, and it's a little different. I don't know if it's better or worse or makes things harder or easier, but I literally had to put 180 pounds on there just to get my calves to do any real work. Maybe I could have done less weight, but that's what I threw on there, and that was what was available. And I knew my calves were probably going to be able to take it. And they did. So I don't typically like isolation exercises, but I isolate on muscles that I feel like really are not benefiting from my workouts. And that's the only time I ever do isolations. And then after that, I did sled pushes. I did push the sled because I wanted to have some kind of squat-like exercise involved. So all those came up, and it was very interesting having to experience that. And one of the things I wanted to focus on this time was just really pushing myself to get it done faster. Not like I didn't want to get it done so fast that it was like I was being reckless, but I wanted to put more emphasis on doing the exercises more quickly because I really, really wanted to push, working my fast twitch muscles, and also I wanted to get my blood flow up. I felt like, before I was doing the exercises, but I was going real slow, my heart rate wasn't up, and my focus for doing this is a little more vascular than it is muscular. So I wanted to really, and before I was just like, I spent all this time just trying to adapt, because I know there's a point where I'd be sitting there doing exercises and I just felt like I just wanted to throw up. I just wanted to throw up because I couldn't handle any blood rush to my body. And I never had to experience that before. It's so weird. And so I had to like adjust to, exercising again. And I had to kind of keep working at it until I no longer felt like I would throw up if I went too fast or went too hard. It was so weird because I get shaky and I would get sick, and it's almost like I had to readjust my body to just exercising regularly again, and then I would be okay. And now I'm kind of at that point. Well, now I just realized I'm at that point. Well, now it's time. I got to take it up a notch. So instead of like adding more weight, I should do more exercises. So I don't know who's at the door. Probably an Amazon package. And that's kind of like my day in the nutshell. That's kind of like, I'm not even trying to give my whole day. I'm just trying to give like an exercise vlog, and hopefully through this vlog, I can like kind of like put in that human factor and try to understand like what's happening in between the results. And if I can figure that part out, then everything else should fall in place. You know what I mean? But yeah, I apologize. I know this is a very long video, and like I said, it is a vlog, so it's going to be long. And I hope, if anything else, I hope these are going to be useful. You know what I mean? Like this is a conversation. You know what I mean? Like we're just talking and trying to understand this, from a person in my perspective, just learning. And hopefully, like, whenever you leave comments or something, I can include those comments and answer some questions. And maybe I won't have answers. Maybe I have to look it up myself, because there's some things I just don't really understand still. And I'm still trying to look for the answer. And it's not just me. There's another YouTuber. I can't remember her name. Is it Beatrice? I probably got her name way wrong, but there's another YouTuber who does this, where she just like experiments with things, and it has that human factor, and I really like that. And I wanted to, I'm not trying to copy it. I just want to explain that this is like a journey I'm going through, and I'm trying to, do this right. So, or at least figure it out and figure out in the middle what's going on, and unfortunately that does make these videos much longer. But other than that, yeah, I guess maybe I'll see you guys next time.